Yo, what's up guys? You are here with Alex from Social Freedom, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys specifically how to screen for emotional availability. Now, what exactly do I mean by emotional availability? It's as simple as this. When you find a girl attractive and you've started a conversation or you find yourself in an interaction, okay, basically you just want to find out if this girl has a boyfriend, if she's in a relationship, if she's seeing or dating someone, and more importantly, is she emotionally available for you to connect with her and potentially bring her into your life. Now, why is this important to know? Well, most importantly, it's just so you don't waste fucking time. Now, the biggest reason why I actually created this specific piece of content, this video, is because a few weeks back, I actually went out with a good friend of mine to Prohibition in the Valley in Brisbane, Australia. It's a nightclub that we all go to. And at the beginning of the night, my friend ended up meeting like this really cute girl, okay? He spent close to an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours with this girl, okay? And during the interaction, everything just seemed to be perfect. They were vibing, they were having amazing conversation. Even at points in the interaction, they were getting a little bit physical with each other. But then at the very end, when my friend was starting to insinuate that he'd like to potentially, invite her home, she let him know that she actually had a boyfriend, okay? And this is super relatable because even for me, okay, I have sympathy for this situation because a couple of years back when I first started learning success with women and working on my social skills, when I was going out all the time, I found myself consistently in situations where I'd be interacting with a girl, she was being friendly, I thought the banter was good, I thought we had chemistry, but time and time again, at the end of the interaction, I'd invite the girl home, or maybe I tried to get physical with her, or I started to escalate. She'd end up letting me know she had a boyfriend. I ended up wasting so much time in the club. So I want to save you guys from this exact same experience. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to give you my 2 favorite ways to screen for availability, to find out if a girl has a boyfriend. And with these 2 specific examples as well, the reason why I love them so much, it actually gives you a chance to not only screen, but also allows you to spark more of that emotional arousal and attraction, and also have like a really engaging and interesting conversation. Okay, cool. So I'm going to jump straight into that now. So let's say for this scenario, you're in a nightclub environment, okay? You've started a conversation, okay? You've obviously hit the social hook point, okay? She's asking you questions, she's laughing at your jokes, okay? She's more than happy to engage with you. And at this point, you're like, I find her attractive. I want to know if it's worth my time. I want to know if she has a boyfriend. So this is what I do, okay? So my first question is this. So Sarah, I'm curious, do you have Tinder? Okay, really fucking simple question, but it's by far one of my favorite screening questions to ask. Why? Well, one, it's really under the radar. She can't actually tell that you're trying to find out if she has a boyfriend or not, okay, which is really important. Second of all, it's also a great topic of conversation to have with the girls that you're meeting because you get to know a little bit more about her blueprint, her beliefs around like sex and dating, and it just makes for a really interesting conversation, okay? So let's dive a little bit deeper into this. So after you ask the question, like, Sarah, I'm curious, do you have Tinder, okay? There's only a couple of different ways that she can actually answer this specific question, okay? So let's say in this scenario, she says, no. You need to now follow up and go, okay, why, okay? Let's say in this scenario, she says, well, actually, I have a boyfriend, so I don't do online dating. Awesome. You now know that even though this girl is attractive, you no longer can, move things forward with her. You can focus your time on meeting other girls that are emotionally available. Sweet. But let's say in the other scenario, she says, well, actually, no, you need to dive a little bit deeper and ask why. She might be like, oh, well, I just don't like online dating. Okay, which is now awesome because you can dive a little bit deeper into this thread, into this topic of conversation, and maybe you can talk a little bit about the fact that it's like, yeah, I agree, like I don't fucking like online dating either. I prefer to meet people the natural way. I can feel the chemistry, I can feel if we vibe. I'm sick of being catfished, okay? And it makes for a really good conversation. Sweet. Let's say alternatively, in another scenario, when you ask the screening question as well, she says, well, yeah, I do have Tinder, okay? Awesome. 1, you can dive a little bit deeper into this, but 2, this also gives you an amazing opportunity to potentially like spike those emotions, give her a little bit of a playful tease. Now, how would you do this? So let's say she says, yes, I do have Tinder. You could ask the question of, okay, well, when was like the last time you went on a date? Okay, and maybe in this scenario, she says, oh, well, actually, I have Tinder, but I've never actually been on Tinder. I've actually never been on a Tinder date before. Awesome. What you can do now here is make like a playful negative assumption. Okay, this is what I do. So I'll be like, oh my God, you're one of those fucking girls. Like you download Tinder and you just sit there just swiping away like on this like validation train. I bet you like on a Sunday morning, when you haven't found like your fucking dream man over the weekend, you're feeling depressed and low, you just sit there on Tinder, you get your 10, 15 matches, get your hit of validation. Oh, I can't believe you're one of those validation girls, okay? Again, in a playful, cocky way, but it's a great way to tease and spike those emotions, okay? Another alternative might be, she says, yes, I have been on a Tinder date, and you can dive a little bit deeper into that and maybe talk about some of her favorite Tinder dates she's ever had, okay? Or maybe you can talk about like her worst Tinder experience, and then vice versa, you can tell some of your stories as well. And also, in regards to Tinder, also is the fact that if a girl generally does have Tinder, statistically or generally speaking, the girls are usually a little bit more like sexually open-minded, which is a good thing for you to know in the interaction as well. Okay, cool. So that's my Tinder question in regards to screening. Now, another simple question you can ask, which I almost ask in every one of my interactions as well, is this. So again, you've hit the social hook point. It's been about 5 minutes. You now ask this specific question. Okay, so Sarah, like I'm curious, when was like your last long-term relationship? Okay. Again, there's only a couple of different ways that she can actually respond to this. Again, in this scenario, let's say she says, well, actually, I'm currently in one. Perfect. You now know that she's no longer emotionally available and you shouldn't waste your time anymore. You can move on and focus your attention on other girls, okay? But let's say in another scenario, she says, well, actually, it was like 3 years ago. Again, another great opportunity to throw in some of those like negative assumptions, those emotional spikes, create that attraction. Okay, dive deeper into this specific topic. So let's say she says like, oh, I was in a relationship 3 years ago. You could be like, oh, really? 3 years ago? You haven't found a boyfriend in 3 years? Is there some like red flags I should know about? Like, am I safe? You're not crazy, are you? Okay, insinuating that there's potentially something wrong with her. Again, spiking those emotions, having some fun, throwing that banter and having good conversation, okay? Also, while simultaneously finding out if she has a boyfriend or not, okay? Screening for that availability. Another scenario might be, you ask the exact same question and she says, yeah, I had, my last boyfriend was 1 year ago. Again, you can make another negative assumption and say, oh, interesting. So like, why did he break up with you? Insinuating that there was something wrong with her and that he left her, okay? Again, another great opportunity to throw in those teasers, throw that little bit of banter, and it makes for good for conversation, okay? But generally speaking, these questions are designed, okay, to find out if she is emotionally available, but also simultaneously allowing you to throw in those teasers and actually have engaging conversation all at the exact same time. Okay, sweet. So what I want you guys to do is go out there, implement this at the nightclubs, on the streets, in your social circles, wherever it might be. Let me know how it goes for you. And if you guys enjoy this type of content, you enjoy these quick tips, these things that you can go out and use and implement, leave a like, leave a comment, ask some questions, or feel free to slide into my DMs as well. Okay, sweet. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.